So today we're going to take a look at the Samsung Galaxy A20, and there's a few different versions out there. This is the Boost Mobile version that I got online for about $179 US, but I'll leave a link in the description below with current pricing and more information. Now, just a few of the specs here on the box. You've got a 6.4-inch HD Plus display, fingerprint sensor, 32 gigabytes of storage, and 3 gigs of RAM. This also has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with talk time up to 29 hours. Two different cameras on the back. You've got a 13 megapixel and a 5 megapixel, and then you've got an 8 megapixel front camera. And it just says Android OS, but I believe this comes with Android Pie or 9.0. We'll have to check that out once we get it booted up. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got. Okay, so it looks like we've got another box to open. So this does come with an adaptive fast charger, which is 5 volts, 2 amps. And it does come with a USB-C charging cable. Terms and conditions, health and safety information. Yeah, we'll set that aside to read later. Wow, this is one shiny phone. Yeah, I can tell you're gonna get a lot of fingerprint smudges on this. But I'm gonna end up using a case for this anyways, so it's not that big a deal. Also, one thing I'm gonna do with this device is I'm gonna do another video just on a few cases, in case you're interested. So on the back, you've got your fingerprint scanner, your 13 and 5 megapixel cameras, and right below that is your flash. On the right hand side, you've got your volume rocker and power button right below that. And the nice thing is you can use an SD card up to 512 gigabytes. And then on the bottom, you've got your speaker, USB-C charging port, and headphone jack. And then at the top, right in the center, is your front-facing camera with a nice little teardrop look to it. So you have a few different options here. You've got face recognition, fingerprint scanner, pattern, pin, password, or you can skip that and do it later. I gotta say, this phone looks and feels really nice in the hand. Let me give you a quick size comparison to my OnePlus 7 Pro. As you can see, my OnePlus 7 Pro is just barely taller. The thickness of these two phones are pretty comparable, although I can tell my OnePlus 7 Pro is definitely a little bit heavier. Check out all these fingerprints I've got already. Yeah, see, I told you, this thing is gonna be a fingerprint magnet. You can see here, this is on One UI version 1.1 and Android 9. Now it's still downloading some apps, but you can see of the 32 gig internal storage, I'm using about 11.8. And let me show you what the screen brightness looks like from all the way down to all the way up. So yeah, that's definitely bright enough. You've also got adaptive brightness, blue light filter, and night mode. And you can see there's a few different screen modes you can choose from. You've got adaptive display, AMOLED cinema, AMOLED photo, or just basic. And of course you're gonna have a lot of similar settings to other Samsung devices. I don't wanna go over every detail because this video could get pretty long. The nice thing is if you don't like the navigation buttons that Samsung uses, you can switch those to full screen gestures, or you can change the button order. Of course, like other Samsung devices, when you swipe to the left, you got the Bixby Home. Swipe up or down to access all your apps. And it's definitely got some cool wallpapers that changes each time you lock the phone. Let's take a quick look at the camera app just to see how it does. Okay, so look how wide angle this camera lens is. Yeah, I think that might be wider than the lens on my OnePlus 7 Pro. This is the normal lens. That's the wide angle lens. Okay, so yeah, this camera is actually really good for this price range. Okay, so the front-facing camera doesn't seem quite as good as the rear, but still fairly decent. Then you've also got live focus, where you can adjust what parts of the image are blurred. And then you've also got a pro mode where you can go in and change a lot of different settings. Then you've also got panorama. Then you can use either lens for video. And for video, you can see the rear camera is a 16:9 Full HD 1920 by 1080. You can change that to 1280 by 720, 1920 by 886, or 1:1 ratio, which is 1072 by 1072. Same thing with the front-facing camera. You've got Full HD 1920 by 1080 resolution, or you can switch it to 1920 by 886 or 1:1 ratio at 1072 by 1072. You can also do different shooting methods where you press the volume key to take a picture or record video. You can do a floating shutter button, tap the screen to take selfies, or you can show your palm to the camera to take a selfie. So here's just a few samples of photos that I took and a video clip. And this is the silver version. You can also get black and also gold. Up here in the corner, you've got your 8 megapixel rear camera, power button, volume up and down, and your micro SD card slot. And the good thing is... Okay, so one thing I didn't realize is there's only a speaker right here on the bottom, where I originally thought there was also a speaker up here, but actually that's just the earpiece. Now, even though this is only a 720p screen, it actually looks pretty good when watching videos, and I don't think most people are gonna notice that this isn't at least a 1080p screen. And I also went ahead and connected my Stratus Duo controller just to test that out as well, and it worked just fine. I feel like the speakers are a little bit on the quiet side. So overall, I'm really impressed with the Galaxy A20, and if you're looking for a phone under $200, I would have no problems recommending this. I think it's a really good value for what you get. The camera is actually better than I thought it would be, and it's fairly responsive too. Now, some people might not like it that this is a 720p resolution, but you have to remember that Apple just released a new iPhone with the same resolution. The other thing I was surprised on this was when gaming, it actually did really good on PUBG, and I also played a little bit of Call of Duty Mobile. Now, when gaming, it does get a little bit warm, and you are on the medium setting on PUBG, but gameplay was pretty smooth, and I had no issues, other than the phone getting a little warm, which most phones do. And another nice feature about this phone is the fast charging. It charges the phone just a little over 1.5 hours. So yeah, with the little time that I had to use this phone, I would definitely recommend this for anyone looking for a phone under $200. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.